so different to the 360 tour. Why the decision to change from big stadiums to this more intimate setting? Apparently,
it's not exactly a club.
The songs really always give you the clue as to how to perform them and where to perform them, and we wanted to have to be back indoors again, and we're using this contraption behind you which looks like a yellow Berlin Wall, this divider. We're using this translucent canvas to tell sort of stories behind those songs, where we came from. So a lot of it's set in Dublin in the 70s, and we recreate 10 Cedarwood Road where I grew up, and Cedarwood Road, my mates, and this is the inspiration behind songs of innocence.
What's it like being back on the road after 4 years?
It's kind of like your first day back at school. It's in some ways it's so familiar, but actually we've not been on the road for quite a few years, so you kind of have to go through a process of relearning certain things. And I mean, we're very excited about this new show and this production, so we're kind of, there's a great mood in the camp, but there's always the unknown until you actually have an audience there and you do a show or two. You don't really know how it's going to go, so there's still a few nerves.
Yeah, you find out whether these songs are any good or not, and that's it. That's our audience is very demanding, but live is where U2 lives. As we've always been a live band ever since we started out. This was our records are great, and it's amazing when we're played on the radio, but to experience U2, you got to come and see us live. So.
You've learned the dangers of cycling in Central Park. How are you? How are you at the moment?
I'm great. Look, there's nothing at all cool about falling off your push bike.
How's it going through airport security?
And
do you like to set off the alarm?
I have a titanium elbow. Doesn't set it off. Doesn't set off the airport security. I just feel so stupid. But I did make it quite a mess of myself, and I'm strong now, feel good, and I've got somebody else's hand. That's what it feels like. I can't play guitar. That's the biggest bummer. It doesn't seem to bother the band at all, which is very hurtful.
Not true.
But I can play a bit of piano, so badly, but I can play a bit of piano. And yeah, it knocked us for six because these songs mean so much to us. We wanted to go around and tell people about them, but I had to instead just go into this very laborious rehab.
Talk about the album and that backlash against it, and the decision by Apple to release, and some of the controversy. What do you when you look back on that backlash and the fuss that was made? How do you see that now?
Of great human rights abuses of our time.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the Apple gift. This is a company that more than anybody's trying to get artists paid. I think they got a backlash, a sort of big tech backlash, because people fear, oh my God, these companies know too much about us. Apple doesn't. They actually just know your music. Like that's all they're interested in is your music. I thought it was quite a poetic thing to do, to reward people who paid for music, with a free gift of our music. They paid us modestly, and we were grateful for that. We've got to experiment.
You've got to try new things.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the new thing is the new thing for all of 15 minutes these days. And right now, a lot of artists are trying to figure out how to fix the issue of CD sales going down so fast and free music on the internet that no one's paying for being so huge. So this is just one attempt at figuring that out, and I'm sure there'll be others coming along, and at some point we will fix it. But right now it's really bad for up-and-coming artists particularly, because no one can afford these days to make records or go on the road. So it's actually kind of serious.
If you go on the road you can sort of survive.
Well,
but if you're a
only if you're
songwriter, you're really
a successful
in trouble.
band. Yeah, but if you're a young band,
Right.
you can't afford to go on the road.
Another area where you get criticism in the headlines, and I want to ask you about this, is the issue of where U2 is domiciled for tax, and a lot of discussion about tax. What do you say to the critics of U2 for the decision?
It's not just critics of U2, the critics of Ireland. And, you know, our country believes in being tax competitive, and we've had some hard times in Ireland over the years, and smart people in government and in the civil service have worked hard to make Ireland tax competitive, and it's been great. It's got a lot of technology companies, and a lot of people receive some very high-level education. We're not going back on that, and I know it upsets people, and people get annoyed, and in Europe and sometimes in America, but we think it's our sovereign right to be tax competitive, and U2 just reflects that.
And the issue of being domiciled in the Netherlands as a company, that gets criticised.
No, that's just us being, I mean, not us actually, but some smart people that we have working for us trying to just be sensible about the way we're taxed. And that's just one of our companies, by the way.
Yeah,
There's lots of companies.
So much of our business is outside of Ireland. It's kind of it's ridiculous to sort of make a big deal about the fact that we operate outside of Ireland, because everything we do is outside
of Ireland. And we pay a fortune in tax, just so people know. We pay a fortune in tax, and we're happy to pay a fortune in tax. People should. But that doesn't mean, because you're good at philanthropy, I think, is the thing, and because I'm an activist, people think you should be stupid in business. I don't run with that.
One other political thing, the gay marriage vote in Ireland next week. Do you have a view on what you would like to see happen next week in Ireland?
I think it's going to work. It'll go through.
It'll go through, and it's a good thing.
Marriage is a very good thing. I'm married myself, and people say it's gone out of fashion. So wherever it's coming into fashion, I would give big round of applause for that.
And finally, back to the music. It's almost sold out. What can your fans expect from this tour compared to what they've seen from 35 years of?
I know it is a bizarre thing. You think, why do interviews if the thing's sold out and all the rest of it? But there's still tickets here and there, and in London and somewhere else. But we love this. This is what we do. We try to be innovative. We try to do things that no one has ever seen or heard before. That's what we did with Zoo TV, that's what we're doing on Pop Mart, that's what we did with 360, that's what we're doing now. And at the heart of it, though, is an idea that started way back in the late 70s, around the time when we were a little sort of post-punk combo, which is this idea of sort of breaking through the fourth wall, you know, and seeing that there's no divide between your audience and yourself, trying to smash that divide. And that's been at the centre of all our productions, and is very clearly at the centre of this one. We're having some fun with it now. They're building that divider right behind you. But it's you know, we like to experiment.
And you still enjoy it?
Still love it. And you know, it used to be really hard being away from your families, but now, because of our audience and because people come out to see us in such large numbers, we can afford to take our families with us when they want. And there's things like that. So it's not exactly the van on the M1, which we did and loved, but it's not as traumatic, and it's very, very joyous. It's incredible to be in a room with 20,000 people who all agree on something. It's hard to get 20,000 people to agree on anything.
You did some busking in New York as well, didn't you?
We did, and we were doing 5 nights on Jimmy Fallon's Tonight Show in New York, and we had to cancel that when I fell off my bike in the park, which is embarrassing. Let's not get into that. But
I think we made $17, by the way. In
we
Grand
came
Central.
back to do the Jimmy Fallon show, and we
going.
went busking with him. $17.
I think it
good.
was.
Not too bad. The Edge.
Pretty good.
And we did. We you know, we're back. We're back, and we're hard to get rid of.